this is just so stupid.
Well, yeah, I thought the goodwill angle was people singing outside.
It is.
That
It's
helps.
both.
It is, yeah. You don't need the Statue of Liberty
Right.
for that to happen.
The Statue of Liberty was like brute force smashing it, but I guess the goodwill singing
Yeah.
weakened the structure enough for the Statue of Liberty to hit it.
Sure.
Like, this is just an excuse to use these things.
Well, they gotta sell toys, Mike.
Yeah.
They gotta make toys of this so they can sell it.
The slime has a different consistency here, too. It looks like silly string.
Yeah, but can I just point out too that they only have 4 of these things that look like it holds maybe 2 gallons? Like, really?
I could forgive that if I cared about any of what's happening in the scene. Oh, and there's the old Nintendo joystick.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here's where the movie completely falls apart.
So what? They what? They
Well, they establish earlier they play happy music and the
Yeah,
toaster
no,
dances.
I get, yeah.
No, but like, why they play music here, but they still have to use some sort of Nintendo joystick to control it?
Just so that it can show that they know, they could tell it where to go. They could direct
Otherwise, it would just hop around randomly.
Or, yeah.
But what is the Nintendo joystick
It has
hooked
a
up
circuit
to?
board on it, Jay. Because science. Egon made it.
Egon made it.
Why is it moving its legs?
And why
That's
does
the thing. Nothing about this works.
Shouldn't it just be hopping like the toaster did?
I would be more okay if they used Vigo's magical psychic powers to somehow make the thing move, or use some sort of ghost logic as opposed to the physical,
Yeah.
scientific explanation.
Oh, they had leftover footage from that other scene, so they just threw it in there.
I'd prefer they didn't do it at all.
Well, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, find some other. If they needed a big epic way to break into the Jello mold,
Yeah.
they should have done something different.
Yeah. Was Lewis in the cartoon?
Yeah.
He was in the cartoon.
Only after this came out. He was in like 3 episodes because they tried to make the cartoon look a little bit more like Ghostbusters 2. And then he never showed up again.
Okay. Did he ever wear the Ghostbusters uniform?
I don't recall. I know he's only in like a handful of episodes though.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So why does the robe move? Why does the head look around?
Nothing about this makes any sense.
The torch actually doesn't shoot fire out either. I don't think there's like propane and gas inside the torch in real life.
Yeah, there's a lot of things with Ghostbusters you have to suspend your disbelief to a certain extent, but this is just...
And I also think the second the Statue of Liberty stepped on a street, it would collapse into it because it's not solid ground. There's
It does crush a car.
it does crush a car, but
But it should be like breaking down into the sewer
it
system,
would just
and the subway
immediately
system.
collapse into the ground. Yeah. The weight of the statue would, yeah. This is the worst thing ever. It's so illogical, so cartoony, so...
Yeah, I remember the cartoon making more sense than any of this.
Typically, yes.
The cartoon had little storylines and... Yeah, nothing this unbelievable for this universe.
It just goes over the edge.
And then Slimer shows up again because Slimer...
Oh, he's the bus driver? Right?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense if they had their little interplay that you mentioned, Rich.
But with that cut out... Like,
It's just completely fucking random.
it's just random, yeah.
He does run into him in the montage sequence, and
Yeah.
he runs away, but...
At least they didn't put Slimer in this more. Because I know the cartoon, he lived at the firehouse. He was like a regular character.
Yeah.
I think he even had his own cartoon, right, for a while?
Yep. That's when the cartoons started to get bad. The first 2 seasons are pretty dark. And then they decided it had to be all kid-friendly.
Yeah.
So I see that the the Goodwill singing opened a window right by the glass dome. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It started to clear away. So that, you know,
Well, they're not singing yet. People are cheering and they're happy to see the Statue of Liberty, but the singing comes a little bit later.
The statue itself apparently is enough goodwill,
Yeah,
I guess.
that gives them a little bit of goodwill, and then they start singing, and that's what really defeats Vigo.
Yeah, the
No.
Ghostbusters are really... You know, Vigo's plan is inherently flawed, isn't it? Because the Ghostbusters don't defeat Vigo, the singing does.
Well, the
No,
singing
they shoot
weakens
him.
him, and then they shoot at him,
they shoot him with their guns.
and then they shoot at him, and that's it.
But it makes him flee back into the painting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, his whole thing is he'll have enough power and he can do it then.
Here's another parallelization. The Louis Tully character covered in some kind
Oh,
of
covered in
slime
something, yeah.
and or disoriented. Little baby. Oh, it's positively charged.
We gotta explain it somehow. Just throw a line in. They can control whether the slime is positive or negative now?
They established that earlier. I said that's when the Egon made love to it. There was that scene. They explained this.
So do you think all these tanks of slime here, Egon had to fuck all those? And that's how they made it all positive?
That's why it looks different. It's both slime and semen.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh.
There's a deleted scene of Egon just fucking those tanks.
Isn't there a different area in the place you can hide the baby? It's like a gigantic museum.
Yeah, go into the bathroom or something. But... And then he disappears.
He doesn't need a baby.
No, he's out of sync with reality.
I don't know how this actor didn't go on to a huge career after this movie. He's such a looker.
It's not even.
Give
His,
me the next Brad Pitt.
it's not even his voice.
It's not his voice. I actually did see that guy in one other movie. He's in John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. He shows up and blows his head off with a shotgun.
Does he say anything?
He does. He has a couple lines.
Here, this is when they got knocked down by Gozer.
Yeah, that's just because they didn't want to act anymore. They're like, can we just lay here for the rest of the scene?
They got. This is exactly what happened. Except they're not on the edge of a building.
Right. But they don't even bother to get up for the rest of this scene. They're just going to lay there.
Do you remember in the first one when Egon said, "I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought"?
I love that line. He kind of looks like Dolph Lundgren here. Or not Dolph Lundgren. Who am I thinking of? Highlander.
Oh,
What's that guy's name?
Christopher
Lambert.
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 Not so fast, Vigo.
See, Bill Murray doesn't want to get up. He's done with this movie. Can I nap until we're done with the scene?
Well, they could aim their weapons at him, right?
Well, they might hit the baby.
Yeah, he is holding the baby.
Well, before that, I guess.
But I guess they could shoot the baby with a slime cannon. So wouldn't...
Yeah, it's positively charged.
Yeah.
You don't want Vigo to drop the baby, though.
No. No.
They're weighing all these possibilities. And Sigourney Weaver's tied up with plastic tubes.
Dropping the baby is better than Vigo overriding the baby's soul. Okay.
That shot of Egon. Nobody cares anymore.
How do we end this movie?
This is when he hears the singing.
This is the singing now is weakening him.
You need to establish that everyone in New York is a jackass.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think they're going on the assumption that everyone knows that already.
I know, but for the sake of the film,
Yeah, well, that's like I mentioned, the new RoboCop. Like, we know that Detroit sucks, but in the movie, you have to establish that.
This is kind of a funny payoff when he inadvertently blasts off the thing.
He,
No,
he thinks what he did helps.
I hate it.
I hate it.
It's something. It's
You could just not have him in it at all. Lewis totally has no purpose to be in this movie.
Exactly.
You know, it's you could almost have not have anything in this movie. Once you take one thing out, you take the other thing out, and then the other thing, and the whole thing falls apart.
Sure.
Well, this movie should not have been made.
Someone made a whole bunch of money off this, Rich.
This was a hit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody really remembers it fondly, but it did make a shitload of money.
You go to see it just because it says Ghostbusters.
Yeah, yeah. I do like this makeup on him here.
Yeah, the demon character looks cool.
Here's the big Ray possession payoff. For 1
He
second.
gets possessed for 1 second, and then that's it.
Oh, Harold Ramis has a great line.
We'd like to shoot the monster. Yeah, that makeup's great.
Although Winston's reaction was real good there. Mild fear. Just oh.
So they're shooting him with positively charged slime, and they're shooting the painting with the proton packs. What is this doing?
It defeats evil, Jay.
That's not even what
you
their
can
proton packs
clearly
do.
see. I know.
They're like lassos, basically.
I know.
There's lassos for ghosts.
I mean, they could have come up with something clever. You know, like they could have thrown like turpentine on the painting,
Oh.
and that could have defeated Vigo.
Yeah.
And that would have been mildly clever.
But that wouldn't involve them shooting their proton pack.
Yeah, you have to have them shooting their proton packs, even if it doesn't make any sense, just because they're Ghostbusters and that's what they do.
Like destroying that painting. That's like the obvious thing.
Yeah.
No, just shoot it.
Just shoot it.
It's the laziest fucking way they could have ended this movie. And that's what they went with. Ray doesn't even get to do anything but be on the floor out of commission.